Midfield control. Midfield control. You know, this is what Manchester United need to be looking at come the summer. Because if we want to play possession based in that midfield, we need technically sound midfielders. It's just that simple, you know. And, you know, you look at the midfielders that we have now, Kobe, Casemiro, Ugarte. You know, obviously, as we know, Cass is going. Ugarte is just not good enough. So it leaves Kobe Minu, yeah. So for me, what we bring in is essential if we want to play good football, you know. And what I've done, I've got, including Kobe Minu, to see how he ranks alongside his other players. I've got 6 other players, and obviously I've got Bruno Fernandes in there that I want to compare the comparison. Because for me, this is why, for me, Bruno Fernandes needs to be moved on at the end of the season, you know. I think people need to look at, do we need Bruno's numbers, you know, to the detriment of having a cohesive midfield? I believe you have a cohesive midfield, you know, goals will be shared around the squad. That's just what I believe, you know, because, you know, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is irreplaceable in the sense that we can't do without him, because there'll be other players that will step up for me, you know, and can step up with the departure of Bruno Fernandes, you know. And as I said, you look at all the top teams, you could even see it for yourself yesterday in the Carabao Cup final. Was it a surprise to me that City beat Arsenal? No, I called the right result. And again, you look at Cherky, Rodri, Bernardo Silva in that midfield. You know, these guys are technically sound players. And when you've got technically sound players that want to keep the ball, 9 times out of 10, you will defeat your opponent. Because, as I said, better footballers will always prevail, you know. And I look at our midfield now, and as top of a player Casemiro is not the most eye-catching player on the ball. But again, his one's a bit different because he's got an aura about him with his Champions Leagues and his winner's mentality, you know, and this is why I want to keep Casemiro. But I look at someone like Bruno Fernandes, as I've mentioned before, you know, he's a detriment to the team in terms of, you know, him being very ill-disciplined in the midfield. And if you guys remember, I did say before the Aston Villa game, you know, I was critical of Bruno's first half performance because the amount of times he empties the midfield and plays support striker, whether that's done under instruction or that's just him doing his own thing, is a problem. Because the better teams you play up against, they're going to pick you off each and every time. You know, so again, for me, I want to see whether we play a 3 in midfield or you put an Ahmad or a Xerxes. You know, Cunha's a bit different because he's a maverick, or even a Kobe Minu. Whether you want to play them as a 10 next season or you play a flat 3 in midfield, you know, for me, these players need to be looked at. And as I said, I'm going to go through what are the eye-catching things for me. So I've looked at ball retention and I've looked at passing accuracy. You know, and these things are going to enable you to play, you know, a cohesive brand of football. And I think next season, this is what we need to kind of be looking at, which means moving on to Bruno Fernandes, you know, and bringing in players of this quality that we've been linked with already. Yeah. So let me go through it now. So again, Bruno and obviously Kobe are in there as well, just as the comparison. But the players that we've been linked to in this summer, you know, which aren't going to be a surprise. But there is a different name in there as well that, you know, that I thought I'll just include him because I think it's quite similar in comparison to what he's doing as well. But the first name is Sandro Tonali. For me, needs to be made, you know, one of the main targets for midfield. So again, Sandro Tonali, his ball retention is at 18.97% per game, which means he loses that percent per game, which ranks him as 163rd in the league, which is good. Passing accuracy of 87%. Eduardo Camavinga, for me, who should be made the top target, 11.98% per game, loses possession at a 92% passing accuracy. Carlos Baleba, 18.84% per game at an 86% passing accuracy. Again, some people think he's had a terrible season, but looking at his ball retention and his passing accuracy, you know, it's no different to a lot of the others. Elliot Anderson, 18.67% per game and 88% passing accuracy. Bruno Guimaraes, 18.69% per game 88% passing accuracy. Then we've got Adam Wharton. Again, this is a surprise. Adam Wharton, 18 to 24% per game at an 81% passing accuracy. Bruno Guimaraes, sorry, I mentioned already. Lamine Camara is someone that I've mentioned, yeah? Obviously playing for Monaco in Liga. 16 to 19% per game at an 85% passing accuracy. Kobe Mainu, 13.6% per game at a 90.2% passing accuracy. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes, 15 to 22% per game at an 84% passing accuracy. So again, you can see by all these players, yeah, there's players that rank high for passing and ball retention, which for me is key in being able to play possession based. So if we're looking at the ball retention, yeah, the player that ranks best for ball retention in terms of not losing the ball often is Eduardo Camavinga, yeah. Whether people want to base it on he hasn't played as many games as others, which might be a factor. But again, the fact that he's got 11.90%, and if you watch him anyway, very rarely loses the ball. So he ranks in at top. In second place, Kobe Mainu, 13.6%. And this is why I want to pair Kobe Mainu and Camavinga in the same team. I've always said this. So he's in that second place. In third place is you can say Lamine Camara, 16 to 19%. Then you've got Sandro Tonali. Sorry, not Sandro Tonali, sorry. You've got Elliot Anderson in there at 18.67. Bruno Guimaraes at 18.69. Baleba is in there at 18.84. And again, Baleba loses the ball less frequently than Sandro Tonali at 18.97. And then you've got the likes of Adam Wharton and Bruno Fernandes that are, you know, in between the 15 to 18, sorry, the 15 to 24% mark in terms of ball retention. Now, people might say that's because of the passes they're trying to hit might be a lot harder. But again, having watched Adam Wharton, you know, is a Rolls Royce of a type of midfielder on the ball. Watching Bruno Fernandes, a lot of Bruno Fernandes' passes are forced, you know, and he plays the ball into space a lot of the time. And again, the way that I want to see a midfield functioning is more control, which is why I keep saying he offers us no control, because he's either ill-disciplined with his running, or when he does get the ball, you know, he very much wants to try and play the hard ball and turn over possession, which is what is a problem. If we're looking at passing accuracy, again, this is why I want Eduardo Camavinga, 92% pass accuracy at the top. Second place, Kobe Mainu, 90.2%. In third place, we've got Bruno Guimaraes and Elliot Anderson at 88%. Just behind is Sandro Tonali at 87%. Baleba at 86%. Lamine Camara at 85%. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes, 84%. Adam Wharton on 81%. Yeah? So again, you can see clearly that for passing and ball retention, which is key, you know, in being able to play possession based, the players that I want at this club, you know, one of them we've already got in Kobe Mainu, but Eduardo Camavinga ranks highly for both. And Anderson's up there as well, you know, but again, is he going to go to Man City? He's looking that way. Sandro Tonali, Baleba, even Lamine Camara. So all of them really are, there ain't really much in there. But the standout ones for me is Eduardo Camavinga, which is why I want Camavinga as definitely one of the replacements. But the reason I've done this, Shay, is because the fact that ball retention and passing accuracy isn't one of Bruno's strengths. Bruno ranks lowest out of all these players compared. And this is what the problem is. And this is why I ask people the question, yeah? What would you rather, guys? Let me know. What would you rather? Someone that continuously loses the ball, but gets numbers. What would you prefer? Someone that gets numbers over ball retention, or would you prefer someone that has good ball retention and has a good pass accuracy, and then we get numbers from other areas of the pitch. Let me know what you think, guys. Smash the like button, sub to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and we can discuss. But there's no denying the players that we've been linked with and players that we haven't in Lamine Camara. When it comes to pass accuracy, yeah, he betters Bruno Fernandes, and he betters him at ball retention as well. And that's someone that we've already got in the team in Bruno Fernandes that I believe needs to be moved on. But as I said, let me know what you think, and make sure you smash the like button, and let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And yeah, I'll catch you guys for the next one. Take it easy.